The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event, it's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds, a movement of momentum. Seafood on fire, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC Experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC Experience Mastermind, where purpose is found.
Where purpose is found.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, man. I love that song. Seafood, you produced a winner. Every time I hear it, it just makes my morning. You know, it just elevates me a couple of levels up. So, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
So the topic today is wake up and win. The room you're in is deciding your future. There's so many different ways we can take it, but let's take it to the most positive way. Wake up and win. So I started reading a new book this morning, The Persistence Factor. And I think that this is by Kevin Fickenshare. He's also gonna be on my shows and so forth. And I love the title of that, the persistence factor, right? Because we have to be persistent in knowing what we want. And that's how we win. That's how we wake up and win. You guys, you're here. You woke up this morning. You're winning already, more than most people. Some people are still like, they're about waking up. And for those who are just waking up, good morning. Good morning, Angeline.
Good morning, Angeline.
Morning.
What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, persistence is a key word for me. I think it's very parallel to consistent. Persistent and consistent are two words that are near and dear to me. I call them the superpower, consistency. And just in terms of our room, it's the persistent consistency of wanting to build something for like-minded people to come together and grow and create and connect. And I think our goals are being met just based off of the Tampa experience. And I think each time, because we were persistent and consistent and we had a goal in mind, each time the rooms have gotten better and better. And then the last room we had in Tampa was just extraordinary. But I think it is a result of the persistence and the consistency of knowing what we want and who we want in the rooms, and then going out there, getting it. And then once you go out there and get it, then you have to be able to create the atmosphere at the event in order for people to want to come back. And I think that was achieved. And we just, I think, have to continue to be consistent and grow and create a family that will grow with us. So,
Right. Absolutely.
I would add to that.
good morning, Danny Z.
By the way, I'm enjoying my morning wellness shot, which is absolutely delicious. But I've got to say,
Heard you stirring it.
yeah. Good morning, Danny. Good
Danny
morning,
Z.
and Angeline. Great to see you guys. So, first of all, I think it's important to know that if you are not getting yourself into the right rooms, right, then of course you're not going to stretch your vision. You're not going to stretch your capacity. You're not going to put yourself in an environment to create new opportunities. And frankly, to be real with everybody, because I like to be real, especially bright and early, your life is not changing because your environment isn't changing. So if we want our lives to change, we have to change the environment in which we're hanging out. And sometimes that means you got to elevate the room. You got to get around people that are moving and shaking, people that are world changers, impact players, global titans, people that are doing things. They're making their own dent in the world, right? And the question is, are you a part of that? Are you getting around that? Are you not? What is your status there? When was the last time you checked your room and said, is my proximity actually creating some kind of an impact in my life, right? And remember, and this is very important to know, you can't become what you have never seen, okay? So if you haven't seen the individuals that stretch your vision, you haven't seen the character that is up here, right? You haven't seen the work ethic that is up here. Somebody hasn't laid out a vision for you that's like stretching yours, and you're like, oh my gosh, look at how this person is thinking, and I'm like thinking over here and they're thinking out here. You know, you haven't sat down next to somebody who said, hey, I just showed up in a private jet, by the way. You know, it just happened to me. I said, how'd you fly in? Oh, he said, oh, I had my own jet. And I'm like, you mean you have a plane? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And you know, just you have to get around people that stretch you. You have to get around thoughts that stretch your thoughts, right? You have to get around people that are that are talking at a different level, different expectations of life. They have a different way of showing up, right? And even the attire, when you walk into a room and you stand next to a Lancelot, you know, you're like, oh my gosh, look at this guy's attire, look at my attire. I got to step my game up, right? But these are the things that are required in order for you to go to another level. And that's the power of getting into the right rooms. And that's just another elaboration to what you guys were saying.
Nice. You know, to build on that, the environment, I think that's the key word is, good morning, Emilio. But environment is the key word. You have to create the environment. And that's the key thing. And you have the opportunity now as a person, if you're looking, because of the internet, because there's so many different rooms out there, you can find it if you want. If that is what you want, you can find it. But it has to be something that you want. You have to want to elevate. We all have that inner voice inside of us that's telling us that there's more for you out there. There's more for you as an individual. That you have way more to accomplish. But unless you listen to the inner voice and then do the work and get out there and find those environments, like Jose was saying, then you're not going to elevate, because proximity is power.
With that said, let me share this with you guys.
Make sure you are part of the New York City Mastermind. It is one of the most brilliant places that you can spend your time. And whenever you get people that are open to learning, asking questions, and listening, collectively, this is one of the most beneficial things you could possibly do, investing in yourself, because connection, understanding, you get a room full of people that you get to tap into and learn from their experiences, good, bad, but we're all after the same thing, which is to serve people at the highest level.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
I like that. That was Edward. He joined us in Tampa, and a great guy, very, very intelligent, and he's the kind of guy that you want in a room, right? When we think about all the different people that go to events, that go to rooms, and I'm going to be very super clear with everybody. The reason that I wanted to create these type of rooms is because I was tired of going to other rooms where you would leave and you'd want to take a shower afterwards because it was just so stinky a room. There was no growth. Everybody had the biggest ego. Everybody's like, look who I am. And I was like, oh, and who are you? And so I think that the rooms that we're curating are different. Everybody that shows up is willing to help. Everybody that comes to it is willing to share their knowledge. And there's no sales. And that's one of the most important things that I think that in so many spaces now, everybody, even on LinkedIn, they don't want to make friends with you. They just want to sell you something. And we need to slow down and realize that, hey, you know what? If I get to know you first, then maybe we can do business together. But if you don't even know me and you assume you know me, you know what happens when you assume, right?
You make an ass out of you and me. I learned that on The Odd Couple years ago.
That's it.
Yeah, assumptions also kill the cat.
Yeah.
What does wake up and win mean to you? I know, Lancelot, you and I sometimes have conversations at the wee hours of the morning. And but you do something special. Jose does something special. I do it. And every day we wake up and we win. But what does that look like in your share with the audience? What does a winner look like?
Well, that's a great topic, and thank you for asking that. For me, waking up every morning, it's not just about getting up early. It's about getting up early and doing something different. And for me, it starts with waking up and slowing down your thoughts, which you mentioned or alluded to earlier, Sifu. It's about...
Hold that thought as he comes back.
Well, since he froze, I guess I'll jump in.
Yes.
And as you guys know, for those who don't know, I wrote a book called Winning the Day, which is specifically about this topic of waking up and winning, because it's literally about morning routine. And it's about winning by way of your morning routine. And I truly believe in what's called the bookends of your day, how you start your day and how you end your day. They have to speak to each other. They have to be elevated. They have to inconvenience you. They have to stretch you, and they have to push you. They have to allow you to hang out in your discomfort zone, right? So I can tell you right now that a lot of people tell me when I've had interviews with people in the past, because this didn't start out as a book. It started out as a program. I had a course called Morning and Evening Routine Mastery, right? And then from the course, I developed the book, right? So I helped a lot of people improve their lives by way of taking my course about morning routine and evening routine. And I can tell you that in the interview process of me talking to people that were looking to, I guess, look into my course, they would say, "Oh, I have a morning routine," and I'm like, "So what does it consist of? Tell me about it." You know, and I was ready to take some notes. And I said, anything that is applicable to a morning routine, I'll go ahead and start writing it down, so I have a good idea of what you're doing. And for a lot of these people, I didn't write anything down, maybe like one or two things. Because what they would tell me is things like, "Oh, well, I wake up and I wash my face and I brush my teeth and I go make my coffee. And then I walk the dog. And then I have some breakfast. And then I'll take a shower and I'll get dressed and I'll start my day." And that's pretty much my morning routine. It's really solid. And I said, well, to be honest with you, that's just the things that you do every morning that you're supposed to do.
Mm.
Right. I think that's what everybody's supposed to do. I mean, outside of your coffee. But if you have a dog, you have to walk the dog. Right. If you wake up every morning, I hope that you shower. I hope that you brush your teeth. I hope that you eat. Right. I mean, these are things that everybody does. This is not a morning routine. These are just things that you're supposed to do anyway. A morning routine consists of things that you're doing that's going to elevate you personally and professionally, that is outside of the norm of what everybody's doing, right? So things like what? Okay, affirmations, right? Visualization, looking at your dream board, your vision board, visualizing, right? Reading a book. And it could be journaling. It could be physical fitness, working out, right? I guess technically in some degree, walking your dog, I guess, counts as physical activity, but working out, physical activity. It could be commonplacing, which is the art of filing information for future reference, which is a whole cool different thing that we talk about. It could be prayer. It could be meditation. It could be breath work. It could be personal project time. So there's a lot of things in your morning routine that will elevate your entire day because you did it in the morning. It's about pouring into yourself, right? Because when you pour into yourself, that's the highest level of self-love. Why? Because you're implementing self-care. Self-care is self-love. So you love yourself first, you pour into you first in the morning at the highest levels, and only then when your cup is full do you have a full cup to pour into everybody else. But the problem is a lot of us are trying to pour into people out of an empty tank, right? Because we didn't fill it up in the morning, and we certainly didn't fill it up the night before. So we have an empty tank because every single day you got to pour into your spouse, your children, assuming you have both of those. You got to pour into, a family. If you have parents or siblings, you got to pour into your friends. You got to pour into your clients. You got to pour into prospects. You got to pour into your business. You got to pour into all these people. But if you're running on E, that's why people burn out. That's why people get depressed. That's why people walk around like drained and just frustrated, right? So the highest, so for me, to answer the question specifically, for me, waking up, I wake up with a morning routine because I understand I got to get my prayer in. I got to get my breath work in. I got to get my physical activity. I got to read my books. I got to look at my planner and observe what is scheduled for the day. I have to do my visualization affirmations, all the things that are required for me to be ready to conquer the day, because I don't just wake up and go where the wind blows. Most people do. I am very structured. I'm very intentional about how I start my day, because how I start my day allows me to win the day. And if you can start your day winning, momentum creates more momentum. And then by the end of the day, before you go to bed, well, you have to have an evening routine, because you got to go to bed right too. Because the way you go to bed is going to be the setup for how you start your morning the next day. So if you have a morning routine and an evening routine and they're both effective, oh my gosh, you're winning. And you're winning more than most people, because you're doing things that most people aren't doing. And that stacks up over time. I promise you.
It sure does. Welcome back, Lancelot. See, winners find a way to win. So Lancelot said, I'm on my phone.
I was about to say, I am on my phone because I don't know what happened with my internet. It clicked out, and then I tried to get back on and it says disconnected. I went and got my phone. The question that you asked before I was so rudely disconnected by the internet was such a powerful question in me, just in terms of what do winners do in the morning. And for me, it's all about the morning. And I get up, and the first thing I do is try to slow down my thoughts, because a calm mind is a powerful mind. And, every time you wake up and allow what happened to you yesterday or what you're rushing towards what's going on today, and you're never present in the moment in the morning. So when I slow down, click on my awareness, how am I feeling? What's my today? What am I feeling? Am I bringing something from yesterday, or am I rushing towards something I'm trying to accomplish later on today? Check myself. Once I check myself, then I slow down and I begin to build and on being calm. I meditate.
In other words, I don't know why.
My body. I slow down my thoughts. You know what I mean? Can you hear me?
No, we're hearing just one out of 10 words.
So say only the important words. Try logging back on with your computer. Stay on the phone though. Try logging back on. Maybe it'll come back to you. Also unplug your router, hold on. And then do all that.
Well,
I'll take you
had
off
this
the
happen before. This is okay.
It's okay. We got you. So while he's figuring that out, let me share with you what someone else said about being with us. Take a look.
Everyone who's in the room is all about giving. Everyone who show up here and who are in the room are just givers, and they just want everyone to become better and better entrepreneurs, better founders, better coaches, better givers. You are going to meet the best of the best in this room and it's an intimate experience, right? Sometimes you go to events where there are hundreds or thousands of people, and here in the New York City Mastermind, it's an intimate experience, so you really get to know them. You get to know them as people and not as just a number that's out there. So I highly recommend New York City Mastermind to anyone.
He's back. Lancelot is back.
All right. How do I turn this off, though?
Yeah, I took you off.
Okay.
Just turn off, turn off your phone.
Yeah, that's what. All right. Let me just turn it off.
You were talking about how intentional you are, how you slow things down.
Yes. I slow things. Yes. So just to get back and reflect on what I was saying earlier, it's slowing things down intentionally and doing the work in order to build the confidence, build who you are as an individual, and build your day. And it's things like losing my train of thought here. This thing's got me perplexed.
You're good, man. You're good.
Yeah. But it's doing your affirmations, doing your gratitude journals. I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do is I get up and I make my bed. Then I go downstairs and I have me a glass of water, in which that water represents waking up to the awareness. And as I was saying earlier, you start to check on what your attitude is. Are you bringing things in from yesterday that you have no control over? If you are, I say to myself, I have no control over what happened yesterday. What I do have control over is how I deal with it, what attitude I bring in today, and my emotions. Once I do that, I go downstairs and then I meditate for 15 minutes, slowing down the body, again, slowing down the thoughts, getting myself and making sure I'm in the present as opposed to racing towards what's going on in the future. Once I do that, I listen to about 40 minutes of Stoicism. I'm really heavy on Stoicism and Marco Aurelius. So I listen to that every single day. Then I get up and I write in a gratitude journal. And I'm grateful for the small things. Like this morning I wrote, I'm grateful for the studio I have. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for waking up and having an opportunity to have another day to be the best that I could possibly be. Once I do my gratitude journal, then I do my affirmations. And I have affirmations on my wall that I'm looking at right now. And it says, I was built for impact. And every room I walk into rises because I'm there. Another one, I move with purpose and speak with power and create results that change lives globally. These are things that I say to myself every single day because I am trying to be the best person, best actor, best speaker, best leader that I can possibly be. And when you do that and you understand what your goals are, then you can create the process and you can create the systems and put them into place to allow you to be that. And this is what the morning routine is all about. You know what I mean? And winners, every winner that I know of, including you guys, has a morning routine. So the morning routine is everything because you should be getting ready, creating and orchestrating your day before 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning, because 8 o'clock is when the rest of the world rises. So you have that window anywhere from 3 to 7 or 3 to 8 to create and orchestrate exactly how you want your day to go, exactly what attitude you're going to have, exactly how you're going to feel. Now, I'm not saying you have to feel happy, but I'm saying you have to feel stable so that you work from stability. So whatever happens, you're not down here, you're at stable. So if something happens like what just happened a little while ago, you don't panic. You go into solving the issue, and that goes with everything. That's what it's about. Waking up and training yourself to be stable emotionally. So these are all the things that I do every single day. And the one thing I'll do is if somebody else is doing something that makes sense, I will implement that into my day because I am no stranger to trying something new and experience something different as long as it's helping me to work towards being a better me. So that's some of the things that I do in the morning, and that's why I do those things in the morning.
Love it. Love it. I got to tell you, for me, it's I do a slew of things in the morning. I'm not going to get into details of it, but I love the saying that the military had many years ago when it was a commercial. Is like these guys are doing more than everybody else in the world is, and so I think the three of us are doing that same thing. But I also have to say that for the people who don't wake up early, we're not saying you're bad. We're not saying you're not good. We're just saying your timetable is different than ours, right? So if you are a person that goes to sleep at 3 in the morning and you wake up at 8 or you wake up at 11 or 10, maybe that's the way you lead your life. But at whatever time you do wake up, that's when your morning routine starts, even if it's afternoon, right? There are people out there who, even in the film industry, who start super early and sometimes are working not 12 hours, they're working 18 hours and they're still shooting at 2 in the morning if they're doing a night shot and stuff like that. And then so sometimes it's not when you wake up, it's when, or the time that you wake up, it's what you do when you actually go from a sleeping state to a wake state. And I think that's the most important thing. So it doesn't matter the time. Don't get me wrong, they call it the theta stage between 3 and 5 a.m., right? For me, that's when I'm up, right? So for example, this morning, I was up at 1:07. And then I went back to sleep a little bit, and then I was up at 2 something. Went back to sleep, and I was up at 3 something. Went back to sleep, and then I was up at 4 something. And till I stayed in bed, because at 4, I said, let me run to the gym. I said, I'm actually going to stay in bed, and I'm going to do some meditation, and I'm going to consider what the dreams that I had during the night. And one of the dreams that came to me was alignment. Nothing works if there's no alignment. And that was the biggest portion of my dream. And that is what really kept me up. Nothing works unless there's alignment. There's no alignment in your day if you're not intentional about it. If everybody else controls your day, there's no alignment for you. So that dream that I had, and it was all based on alignment. It was all based on firing and shooting. And if you pull the trigger, if there's no alignment, you can't hit your target. And that was a big deal for me during the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep. And the alignment is really what brought it forth for me. So you can't shoot pool if you're playing pool, billiards, without the alignment of the ball going into the pocket. You can't run your business if there's no alignment with your employees. You can't do anything in life because if alignment is not there, and this was my biggest takeaway during my night, if there is no alignment, nothing works. Nothing. I mean, zero. And that goes for anything, whatever you're doing. So where do we start our morning routine or afternoon, whatever time you wake up? And it's about intention. What am I doing? Am I running my day or is somebody else running it for me? And so the way I wake up is I do a slew of things, always cold showers, the gym, working out, reading. Like I told you guys, I started reading this book this morning, but I was also reading this book last night. So Extreme Ownership, right? And then I have like 3 other books that I have on my coffee table that I was also, because what I do is I'll read a book, I'll get some ideas, and then I'll pick up a different book. And it's not that I don't like reading through a book, because I do that as well. But sometimes it's just, there's a book that has something I need. So I'll pick up that book, just like Jose does, because he can pull out any book and tell you the subject and so forth, which is pretty incredible, Jose. And so when we have alignment, we know what to do the minute we wake up. How do I align myself in the morning so my afternoons are good? How do I align myself so that my evenings are good? And like Jose said, what are you doing in the evening so your next day is great?
Mhm.
Right? Every single day. It's your birthday. Let's celebrate. It's your birthday. Why? Because you woke up.
Mhm.
It's another chance to celebrate you. So be happy. No matter what else is going around you, it'll all go away. As long as you focus on you, you'll be okay.
And I'd like to reflect on what you said, which I've not gave thought to. It's not about when you wake up; it's how you wake up. Because I'm so adamant on you got to wake up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because that's the theta stage, that's the alpha stage. But in actuality, what if somebody doesn't go to sleep until 3 o'clock in the morning? So that was an eye opener for me because it's not when you wake up, it's how you wake up. So whatever your morning is and whatever time you wake up with the intention. It's the intention that's the most important thing, which is something that I have to now implement into my way of thinking because everybody's not on the same time clock. And you know what I mean? And although the alpha stage and the zeta stage or theta stage is at 3, 5 o'clock in the morning, if you're getting home at that time, you have to then wake up when you wake up, but it's not about how you wake up, it's what you do. No, it's not about when you wake up, it's how you wake up, which is a very good point. Very
I'm
good
gonna
point.
have to jump on that
Well
point, Lancelot.
Yes.
I love that point you made because so I'm a firm believer that if you have the capacity and the ability based on your schedule to wake up early, then you should be waking up early. It's not a matter of not everybody wakes up. How you wake up. It's not what time you wake up. It's how you wake up. Yes, that's true. Only if your work schedule is that way.
Right.
If you have the ability to wake up early and your philosophy, your reasoning is, oh, I'm a night person. I'm not a morning person. That's like, saying I don't drink coffee or I don't drink, I don't like to drink water. I mean, at the end of the day, you can become that. You can become a coffee drinker if you choose to. It's an acquired taste, right? You can become a cigar smoker. You can become somebody who doesn't drink alcohol or somebody who does drink alcohol. You can become a runner, even though you're not a runner, right? So you can become whatever you choose to become. It's just a matter of the question of, do you see the value in a morning routine? Do you see value in waking up bright and early and before the pets are up and around and before the children need your attention, before your spouse requires some love and before all the emails and the dings and the pings start coming into play in your tech and social media and all that kind of stuff? Like, there's a reason why there's a morning routine. There's a reason why 5 a.m. is the best time to wake up. Obviously, a little bit earlier is even better. But because there's a lot of science behind that, and there's a reason why we want to wake up and be distraction free. That's a great time for deep work. If you ever read Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, make sure you read the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. Highly recommend it. At the end of the day, again, I'm not a morning, I'm a night person. Oh, yeah, because you have trained yourself to become a night person.
That's right.
You are that, but it doesn't mean you have to be that. It doesn't mean you don't have the capacity to be a morning person. It just means you choose to be a night person. That's the reality. And I will take that to the bank all day. So nobody can convince me otherwise that, oh no, I'm just wired as a person, as a human being to be a night person. That's not true. It is you a night person. It's like reading books. You know how many people have told me, Jose, I don't read books because it takes me a long time to read a book and I would rather just hear the book, right? Listen to it. Again, nothing wrong with that. Audiobooks are awesome. They're very tactical for what they're designed to be, right? But it doesn't mean that it should replace physically reading a book, unless you actually can't read. If you can't read, then it's different, right? So it's like the whole, what is that quote from, I think it's, I just literally turned to it. The quote in my book here from Mark Twain says, "The man who does not read good books has no advantage over the man who cannot read." Okay, so at the end of the day, it's very simple. If you are not a reader, in your mind, I'm not a reader, I don't read books. I might listen to them if I can, but I'm not a reader. I just suck at reading. I'm not a fast reader like you, Jose. First of all, how do you know I'm a fast reader? And I say this because I've had many people tell me this. Jose, I don't read fast like you. I mean, you read a book a week. I can't read that fast. I'm like, how do you know I'm a fast reader? Number one. And number two, what makes you think I was born a reader? What makes you think I just love to read and I just was a reader from day one? No, I had to build that muscle, right? That intellectual muscle, right? It didn't just come naturally. You have to like work on it. You gotta apply yourself. So reading a physical book is like free weights in the gym versus resistance machines, right? Resistance machines, it's balanced for you. It's structured. It's much easier. You put the right weight on it, it's going to be hard in that sense, but it's easier because you don't have to balance it, you don't have to think about it. It's like right there, right? If you're doing free weights, guess what? You got to stabilize that bad boy. You got to make sure that it goes back up properly, and you're not like this, or the plates don't fall off, or whatever. You have to incorporate more muscles. You have to incorporate more thought. It takes more effort, right? Same thing with reading a physical book. It requires more from you. So there's something special about reading a physical book, and you're laser focused. You can't be reading a book while you're watching TV. You can't be reading a book while you're working out. No, you have to be all in. If you're reading a physical book, you can be distracted while you're listening to an audio, right? Again, nothing against audios. I think they're designed for a reason. If you're in the gym, if you're going for a walk, why not pop in an audio like a podcast? Awesome, go for it. But it shouldn't replace the fact that you should be reading a physical book. And it goes back, and I'm a slow reader, by the way. I read about a book to 2 books a week, and I digest them thoroughly. But it doesn't mean I'm a fast reader. It just means I make the time and I make the effort.
The choice. Beautifully said. First of all, hi to Michael and Leon, 2 wonderful, wonderful people, and they were at the Tampa Experience. But I want to reflect on what you said, Jose, and that is choice. You can make the choice to be a reader. You can make the choice to go to the gym. You can make the choice to be in the room with us in May. These are all choices that you make. And this is what separates us from animals, is the ability to make choices. You know what I mean? And I hate when people say, this is how I am. I'm not a morning person, or I'm not a reader, because that is a choice that you are making. If you want to be a reader, you can start to build, like Jose said, that muscle. It doesn't just come to you, but if you pick up the book and you continue to read day in and day out, you will become more comfortable with reading. It's just like working out. If you truly make the choice that I am going to get up every single day, and without fail, I'm going to work out four days a week, at least 1 hour a day. If you make that choice and you stay consistent with it, it will get easier after a while. But it's about the choice that you make. So stop thinking, and this is for anybody who has this mindset of, this is how I am. No, it's not. You choose to be that way. And at any time, you can make the choice to do something completely different. We have that power. And then once you make the choice, the most important thing is to be consistent with it. But if you do consistent things each and every day, it makes massive internal shifts. But you have to be able to, first and foremost, make that choice.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So Jacqueline was our sponsor in Tampa. Let me share her video. Take a look.
Have you been networking for years, meeting great people, having good conversations, but still feel like you're doing it alone? This might be the reason. Most people don't fail because they lack connections. They fail because they never turn connections into relationship capital. Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I've watched incredibly talented people stay stuck, not because they weren't capable, because they were randomly networking instead of building the right relationships intentionally. You see, in my system, we don't just exchange contacts. We build trust, we mastermind, we create strategic connections that actually move people forward personally and professionally. I work one-on-one with clients who are done guessing. My team and I bring clarity to their direction, sharpen their strategy, and help them leverage the relationships that matter most. If this sounds familiar, don't ignore it. Stop collecting contacts and start building relationship capital. I'm Jacqueline, and I'd like to connect with you.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So many people forget that they do have choices.
That's right.
Same thing with eating, right? You can choose to eat the donut. You can
Mhm.
choose to eat the apple. I did a test. I was at this big event and I had a table and I said, let me do a test. I brought a big basket of apples and a big basket of cookies. What do you think went first?
The
Or
cookie.
entirely?
It depends on who you deal, what group is in there. But I would think the cookies.
Cookies, absolutely. Every day, any day.
Uh,
1 or 2 apples went. And I've done this test many times. And it's a choice. People can choose how they live their lives.
mhm.
Or people can choose a quick satisfaction over long-term goals. And so every day we do have a choice. We do have a choice. Do we get up and go to the gym? Or maybe the morning is not the time you can go to the gym. Maybe you have to go at night. Maybe it's in the middle of the day. Or maybe you don't go to the gym, but you work out at home. There's nothing wrong wherever you work out as long as you do some movement. And the choices that we make every day are going to reflect our tomorrows, because whatever, I would rather be healthy 50 years from now because of the actions I took today compared to not so healthy because of the actions I took today. And people don't see that. Every day it's your bank, right? It's what you put into it. It's your investments with your time, with your energy, with the people you meet, investment into getting into the right room. Now, listen, we don't want everybody in the room. I'm going to be super honest. If you're there just because, hey, gimme, please don't come to our room. We only want givers to come to our room, because the more givers we have, the more people get to receive. If you go into a room of givers, what's going to wind up happening if you're a giver as well? All those other people are going to give to you, and then you're going to give to the room as well. So there's a win for everyone. That's the kind of people we're looking for to come and join us. Yes, I do have an event in May, but we also are doing the New York City Mastermind Experience in Atlanta, September 25th and 27th. The website is being redone so that we can have that coming through really, really soon. And then we're looking at different locations where we can have it. We're looking at different hotels that people can stay at. So that's all coming around. It'll be up shortly. But meanwhile, if you want to join us, just text. We can put you on a list. We can also make sure that you don't fall by the wayside, because we're doing something different for the New York City Mastermind. We're going to have early bird pricing. Early bird pricing is going to increment. Once we fill a certain amount of seats, it goes up. We fill a certain amount of seats, it goes up until it goes to full price. So if anybody's interested, don't wait. Don't wait. Get into the room. And if you think, oh, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing in September. Well, that's because you don't have a calendar. Go get a calendar and start planning your days. Jose, you plan every day, don't you?
Oh, 100%. Success is a planned event, right? And failing to plan is planning to fail. And I can tell you all kinds of one-liners about planning. Proper prior planning prevents poor performance, right? The 6 P's. And there's many, many others. So, but yeah, you have to plan in order to win, right? You have to be a planner. And I have downstairs, I have a big ass calendar is what they call it, right? For lack of better words, but that's what it's called. It's literally called the big ASS, right? It's on my wall, and it has the whole 12 months right there visually, and with sticky notes and all kinds of cool things, so you can block off and color code. These are personal things. These are business trips. These are, whatever it is, right? Special occasions like anniversaries, birthdays, and so on and so forth. So it's pretty cool. I can just look and see, oh, these are all the birthdays there. Oh, these are all the business trips. Oh, these are all the family things, right? So And it's just at a glance, right? So whenever I'm talking to somebody and somebody says, Jose, what are you doing in September? I'm like, oh, let me look at my big ass calendar, right? So it's just really simple. It's not that hard. And the cool thing is that I can literally say, oh, okay, you know what? In September, I am open at that time. It makes sense. This room that we're creating is in alignment. It's what I'm here for. It's something I want to be a part of. Absolutely 100%. I'm in. So then I put it on the calendar. And then I reverse engineer it and I figure out, okay, so how do I get there financially? How do I need it? My time is already blocked off, so that's not going to be interrupted. So step one is taken care of. Now I just got to figure out, okay, does it require a plane, a train, or an automobile? What is the total cost? Am I going to need a hotel? I'm sure we're going to have to eat. How many days do I plan to stay there? That whole thing. And then I look at, okay, now that I have all that in place, I got to start saving money. So I look at my budget. So, okay, every month, how much am I making all the way up to September? I have plenty of runway right now to put a little bit of money aside, little by little. And then all of a sudden it's done. But too many people are trying to figure it all out before they commit. And sometimes you just have to pull the trigger and commit and then figure out how to do it. That's what winners do, right? Winners find a way to win. So anyways, going back to the rooms, in terms of what we're talking about, the rooms, I think this is a real thing. What I'm about to share with you guys, it might rub somebody the wrong way. And to be frank, some of us need to be rubbed the wrong way in order to change. Okay. So I've been rubbed the wrong way a couple of times and it helped me. Do I like it in the moment when somebody's delivering a message that is kind of like tough or a bitter pill to swallow? It's not the best feeling, but it's a phenomenal feeling when you're improving because of it. Right. So anything that I ever say that comes out of my mouth is not to talk from like the pulpit and say I'm better than you, or to say, look at you, you need to improve, or to like call people out specifically, or to make people feel bad. It's not the reason for any of that. It's because I care and I want you to be better and I want you to improve, because my calling in life is to serve people and to add value to people and to change people's lives in terms of transformation, positive direction, right? That's my calling. That's what I'm here for. That's why I do everything that I do. So in terms of the room, right, there is a cost to being in the wrong room, as you know. Just like there is a value, a tremendous value, and a very a positive price point for going to places, there's also a negative cost to being in the wrong room. Too many people, get this, and please make sure you get this if you get anything today. Too many people are staying loyal to the wrong people. And these people can delay the destiny of what you're trying to achieve. They are loyal to the wrong places. Too many people have outgrown the rooms that they're currently in. You know why? Because it's comfortable. Because of all the history that we've developed together. Because I feel guilty if I leave this circle. Let me tell you something. Some circles you don't belong in anymore.
You've outgrown them. Maybe.
You have outgrown some circles. Some circles you got to step into the next tier, into the next level. That is called progress. That is called progression. That is called life, my friends. Life and in business, right? So I'm telling you, every year that goes by where you're still in the wrong rooms is a delay in your journey. It's a delay in your process. So a lot of you don't need a new strategy, a new technique, a new epiphany. You really just need a new circle. And what we're creating here with NYC Mastermind Experience is the rooms so that you can build the right circles that are going to get you closer to where you want to be. And that has a price point that is invaluable. I am telling you. And by the way, what we're charging for these events is pennies on the dollar compared to the value that you're getting, compared to the ROI that's on the table. And too many people, you know what's interesting about ROI is too many people see ROI like this. They don't see it like this. In business, you have to have long-term vision. You have to have long-term vision. If I have somebody, and I'm going to end with this, if I enroll somebody in Connected Leaders Academy, a inexperienced business owner is going to say, how much can I charge here on the front end to make as much money as possible to bring this person into my world and then call it a day? That's what, because all that person cares about is the front end. I don't see it that way. I say, what is reasonable for me to charge that makes sense, that is still a steal for them and is still good for me, but I'm not looking to make all the money here. And I bring them into my world, and then I over deliver, and I show them value, and I show them ROI, and I show them the power of meeting the right people and building amazing relationships, and I serve them and I go to bat for them and all those kind of things. What I understand is that 8 out of 10 people who end up coming to the community, you know what they do? They end up saying, oh, Jose, can I buy that book? Jose, I would love to speak at that next event you're putting on. Jose, what is this course that you have going on there? Tell me more about that course. Hey, I want to hire you as my coach. Let's do some one-on-one coaching. Hey, by the way, I know you have this anthology that's coming out, this book that you're launching. Can I be a part of that book? Hey, that virtual conference thing, what is that about? I'd love to sponsor it, or I'd love to speak at that. And the list goes on and on and on, because I have 9 other different income streams that I have in terms of things that I do, offerings that I have, products and services. So if I bring somebody in the front door, I know there's a long-term value of that person if I deliver on the front end. So that means that, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, $3,000 can turn into $50,000 off of one member. But you know what's crazy? Most people don't see that. And I'm just giving you an example that's real to me with Connect Leaders Academy. There's an example of, like, I go to an event and it costs me, $5,000 to be there, between the hotel and the flight and the food and the meeting after the meetings and all the things that happen. Let's just say $5,000, which is a super high price. That's actually not what it costs us, but let's just say $5,000. What they fail to realize is the relationships that I build there. All of a sudden, this person leads me to a podcast. This person gets me to this stage, which I met this person that ended up introducing me to this person that ended up getting me on this stage and introduced me to this person that ended up, a client landed. You see, but what people don't see is this all came from the NYC Mastermind Experience, right? And that's the long game. And you have to have that vision. You have to see that bigger picture. That's what it's about.
But also, Jose, what people may not listen is, if you just come to the event and you do nothing else, you're not going to get any of that. You actually have to be active at the event. You have to connect with people. You have to do follow-ups. You have to keep connecting, because you never know. Somebody may say, hey, I need your services, or I don't need your services, but my cousin does, or my neighbor does. So it's about the connections that you make and keeping them alive. Don't get me wrong. Not every connection you will ever make are ones that you want to keep, right? Some you just want to run away from, and that's okay. But coming to our event is not enough, because you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna meet some great people. But if you leave and you do nothing afterwards, it's just like any other event. You had a good time. But learning how to work an event, and don't go to our event or any other event saying, oh, I'm here to make money. Go there to say, I'm here to make connections that will inspire my life, because I met someone and wow, they actually helped me with something I needed, and they didn't charge me for it. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. So think about when you come to an event, especially our events, we bring the right people into the room. I'm going to share one more video with you guys. Take a look.
Absolutely amazing. My first day, kind of didn't know what to expect. It's my first experience, so I had no expectations walking into it, and within the first 24 hours, I was blown away. The actual people in the room, the connections being made, the topics being talked about, it changes perspective completely. Anybody that is trying to grow their business, trying to grow in life, there's so much value to take in and absorb here. I would recommend this to anybody that's trying to pursue any type of career in life and elevate to the next level.
Boom. So it's not just for people who are matured, and matured, I mean older, right? That's I'm going to take that from Scott Schilling. It does it, and that young man right there, he's just starting out, but he's starting out in the right way. So our events are for anybody who is a youngster to somebody who's been in the game for a long time. So we're not saying that it's exclusively for older gentlemen and young ladies or older ladies. We're saying it's for everybody in between. If you're 18 and over, our events are the ones you want to come to, right? If you consider that you're in your 50s and you have an 18, 20-year-old, it's important to bring them to an event because they may meet somebody that can help them in their career. They may meet somebody that they're going to be blown away by and will be able to expand on their experience and even get the help they never imagined they would get. So if you have a child who's 18 or over, bring them to our events. We don't really want anybody younger because we're not a babysitting service. I just want to say that. So if you have a 10-year-old, awesome. Congratulations. They're beautiful. 15-year-old, great. But we really want to make sure that you bring your children who are 18 and over because it will elevate them in a way that you as a parent never saw. And I know that we were not even going to talk about that, but just watching that young man showed me that that's important. We need to bring our next generation up, and how best to do it is to bring them to the right rooms. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, first of all, for those that are watching that don't know who that handsome young man was, that is Sifu Raphael's son. And to watch him experience what his dad has been doing since before he was born, which I didn't know until he had mentioned that at the event, and to see him experience it for the first time and get all in as a youngster was a beautiful thing to watch. And I think that is a great thing to pass on to the next generation is something like this, getting in the room with collaborators, getting in the room with movers and shakers who are trying to shape and make the world a better place. What better way than to introduce your son into his adulthood than to show him what you do and what you have been doing for over 20 years. And I found him to be a spectacular young man. And his experience showed me that others, next is Jose's son. We met him at a event. So to see the kid, the next generation coming up is a beautiful thing. And for those that have kids, this is a great gift to give to them. The gift of being around positive people that are trying to change the world in a positive way.
If you think of it that way, and
Good morning,
thank you,
Kim, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, good morning, Kimberly. If you think of it that way, it's allowing your children to harness the power of mentors. Because everybody in that room poured into my son. And it was beautiful to see, right? But whether he was my son or not, I think everybody in the room would have poured into that young man anyway, because he said yes to showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you know how many times I tried getting him in the room? But it takes a decision that we all need to make, and the decision is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's that simple word, 3 letters, Y-E-S. Yes, I'll be there. Right?
Well, first of all, I enjoyed Marco at the event. Marco's brilliant. He is somebody that any entrepreneur should be connected to. And just wishing him the best in his entrepreneurial endeavors. Fantastic young man, for sure. And they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So that's clear. But I wanted to just say, as I guess a final thought, that a lot of people are thinking of going to events, getting into the right rooms as like more information. They're thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna go to this event, but is it worth getting the flight, getting the hotel, being there for 3 days? I mean, that's a lot. And I feel good about what I know already. Like, what am I really going to learn when I'm there? Like, I kind of already know. Like, I'm a big reader. I listen to podcasts. I have a coach. I do virtual things all the time. So do I really need to be there? The answer is yes, you do. Because it's not so much about the information as much as it is about the relationships you're going to cultivate. And the relationships that you're going to cultivate in person is unlike any relationship you can ever cultivate, because you cannot build the same relationship online that you can in person. And that's just a fact. And when you shake the hands and you give a hug and you have more of an intimate eye-to-eye in-person conversation, it's amazing how far that can go. And some of the biggest relationships I have to this day in my entire life, personally and professionally, came from being in a physical room. And that's the power of the environment that we have created here with the NYC Mastermind Experience. So yes, are you going to learn things? Absolutely. Are you going to have takeaways? Of course. Are you going to write some cool notes and some things that you can implement? Yes. You know, is it going to be of value, and could you have an epiphany and a transformation because of the information you heard? Of course, absolutely. All of these things can and will happen. But the bigger play, folks, when you're playing chess in terms of going to events, this is chess, not checkers, is I need to position myself with the right people, building those relationships so I can play the long game in life and in business. And it's the relationships that change the entire thing. And that's what we've created for you. And we want to see you in Atlanta in September. Make sure you get your tickets. You're muted.
You're muted.
I saw that. So thank you, everybody, for being joining us this morning. And we look forward not only to next week, but every week, every Tuesday morning, we're here. And we bring different guests on. Sometimes it's just the three of us. Sometimes we'll have other people with us. So we are definitely creating the community of people who are like-minded, people who are looking for growth, people who are looking for experiences, people who are looking for relationships that matter, right? Listen, sometimes you're going to meet somebody that can impact your life in ways you never knew, but you can't do that sitting at home. You got to get out. You got to come join us. So have a great day, everybody. God bless.
Guys, have a wonderful week. Always an honor and pleasure to be on with you guys. Have a great week.
Enjoy, you guys.
Make sure you are part of the New York City Mastermind. It is one of the most brilliant places that you can spend your time. And whenever you get people that are open to learning, asking questions, and listening, collectively, this is one of the most beneficial things you could possibly do, investing in yourself, because connection, understanding, you get a room full of people that you get to tap into and learn from their experiences, good, bad, but we're all after the same thing, which is to serve people at the highest level.